Workouts resumed.
Well, good morning.
Time, 7. Distance, 1. Workout average pace, 6:59.
So 1 kilometer into Freedom Run number 12. I am running, if I can remember, the same route that I did before. But today I need to end up at the bigger supermarket because I need to buy various items, including beer caps. Everything else I need I could get from Mount Doug Market, but the beer caps, not so much. I have to go to a larger store. I can't remember now if I recorded on Monday. No, I didn't. That's right. I just did a little Tuesday update yesterday. So, I guess you figured it out. Today is Wednesday, and I owe you a show, as usual. Not wanting to let down my thousands of fans. You guys help me to get out the door. Well, my Sony is still with me. I am still using it, even though I've had various issues which either I solved or I didn't solve, but if you're hearing me now, then it's working. I should, one of these days, get myself a new Sony. And I noticed that they have some MP3 recorders that are stereo. I don't know if that would really enhance the listening pleasure. I'll check out the prices. I'm not going to spend more than about $60 to replace this one, otherwise it'll be an extravagance. If I have a semi-functioning machine, why do I need to buy a new one? This is how retired people think. So this is Mount Douglas Creek Trail, and I'm just approaching Ash Road. Hello. Thank you. So, this is body check. Head, pretty good. Arms, fine. Never use them. Chest, pretty clear actually. I haven't been coughing or wheezing too much lately. So I'm already entering the glory zone. And this is around 10 minutes in. So that bodes well for the rest of the run. Another fellow runner in short shorts I tend to favor the long shorts, only because I guess I'm too lazy to get changed after I finish. I quite often spend the rest of the day in my running gear, doing my errands or whatever. I really don't see the need to shower twice a day. So this time only one car, one Mazda truck, and then one Chevrolet, one Honda, and one Ford Escape. Okay, so the statutory 4 cars on ash before I turn off onto the Mount Douglas Creek Trail. Depending if I stop to chat with anybody.
13, 23. Distance, 2. Workout average pace, 6, 41.
Depending whether I stop to chat with anybody, this continuous broadcast should last about 50 minutes. I'm not sure which supermarket will be closer from when I have the choice, but I have to go to Fairways. Now this is where the kids collect. This is the kindergarten play area that I've spoken to you about on various occasions. Looks like they might have had a day off today. Oh no, maybe not. They're here. I see them again. Hello. Hi there, children. Oh, they're busy playing with the bark on a fallen Douglas fir tree. They look very happy, very peaceful. I didn't really want to disturb their play. Crossing Cedar Hill Road, Cordova Bay Road next. Walk this section across the road. Yeah, he's seen me. Very good. So, I'm now on the Whitaker Trail, making my way northwest. Northwest. I still have most of Mount Doug to my west, which I guess with the stereo microphones I could have made noises over to that side, because you would hear the cars on the right and the quiet of the forest on the left. So 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Saving Time. Once again, 6 degrees is what I'm running in with a long sleeve technical hoodie and a pair of throwaway gloves that I have not cut the tips of the fingers off. That pair is now bare of 2 fingers. Mind you, it could be handy for when I'm using my phone to have a couple of bare fingertips. It's another suggestion for Steve about how to operate his phone in the cold. Yeah, that way it would be easier for him to pause the app during the noisy traffic sections. Well, I guess this would be week 3 of my recovery process from my ass bone injury, mysterious pain that I had in my left hip area, more on the ass bone than on the hip bone, if you know what I mean. But I haven't tweaked that leg in a few days, but last time I did, it wasn't quite as painful. So if it is a muscle issue, it is healing itself. This is what's liberating for me. Running solo is very liberating because you can tell your body exactly what to do. There's no peer pressure. I think that was getting to me. I felt that I should run the hills a little further and a little longer when I'm rested. But that was after week 1. I rested for a full week. No running at all. That was the week that I went to see Al in Duncan. The week after that, we had the relay, and I ran hard for a short period of time. Felt fine, but it's still...
21, 3, distance, 3, workout average pace, 7.
It still felt painful for me to sit for more than about 20 minutes on the couch before the pain would come up from my knee up to my ass. And I'd have to stand up. But last night I had no pain while I sat. And I also had a very good night's sleep as well. I was kind of wondering about the phone and my iPod being on my bed at all times. I was concerned about the fact that it would be periodically connecting to the internet, sending electromagnetic pulses through my room, my bedroom, the jackal's den. Hello. Okay, so I just said hi to a very cheerful looking young lady, which means that I might see her again, because we're on, for the moment, diverging, but soon to reconverge trails. I'm going round the swampy area by the farmer's field, and she was going up the middle towards the cave. Now I'm heading due west. I don't know if you can hear that low-pitched rumble. It's a phenomenon that here in Gordon Head, on the eastern edge of the Saanich Peninsula, going due east from us here, you end up on San Juan Island, one of the U.S. Gulf Islands. And somebody told me that on the mainland in Washington there is an air base, and they have at various times mass takeoffs. But that would explain that rumbling, because I don't know if you know this, but there are no scheduled jet flights out of Victoria. Oh no, there are one or two, but none of the big commercial airlines fly to the island. I think WestJet might be the only exception, and I think once a week they have a flight to Maui from Victoria. That is the flight that the people here take when they've had just too much winter, too much rain, too much mud, too much wind, not enough snow. That's where Vancouver attracts a lot of extra interest amongst the more athletic members of our society, because they have phenomenal skiage, if that's even a word. Almost tripped there. I felt a very faint twinge of the sore area, so that makes me think it is probably my piriformis muscle. Norman would tell you where that is on the anatomy, but it's not the gluteus, it's underneath, inside, behind, beside the gluteus. I just heard the report of a shotgun. This is, as I was saying, bordering on the farmer's land, so I'm sure he has every right to shoot rabbits or foxes on his property. I have no real objections to hunting if you're a farmer. I'm not so keen on hunting for sport, but most of the sports hunters keep their quarry and stock their friends and their freezers with venison. I'm not sure if I approve of hunting with a shotgun. I think if you're going to take on a noble beast like a deer, you should at least use a longbow. Then you could possibly claim some ancestral right to hunt with a bow. So I'm coming up to one of those traditional jackal hiking spots. This, as I remember saying to you before, was the very first trail loop that I made of Mount Doug when I first arrived here in Victoria. Yes, it's very weird. If you've heard the last episode, the Freedom Run 11, you will probably detect in my speech that I'm trying
29, 47, distance, 4, workout average pace, 7, 26.
I'm trying not to repeat the same thoughts that I had then, even though I'm experiencing externally exactly the same stimuli. Yes, it's almost like Groundhog Day for me. Yes, it was Sunday. I remember now when I was up here last, and what is it today? Wednesday. That's how far apart these shows will be. I am planning to probably record on Friday, as tentatively I'm going to be running with Sandy here again on Mount Doug in the dark from my house. I would have preferred to meet her here at Mount Doug itself, but she was kind of worried about leaving her car unattended in a dark parking lot. What has happened in the past is not so much Mount Doug, but Elk Lake. People would stalk the main car park, which is right on the edge of the legendary Elk Lake gravel 10-kilometer loop of the lakes. And if they saw people in running gear getting out of a car, they would have an almost certain window of opportunity, because runners being what we are, here's my little secret jackal bushwhack trail. Because of our habit of running loops, they would know that they had anything from 40 minutes to an hour and a quarter to raid the car park. And that is unfortunate. We live in a very otherwise honest society here. Partly because we are on an island, and being so close to a big city like Vancouver, the opportunity criminals, the career criminals, tend to congregate where there is the biggest pot of gold. So, in a way, we're lucky we only have small-time crooks who never graduated to thievery 201. I won't say it again. You know what I was going to say. But I said it once this show already. I have already invented one semi-official word in my lexicon. In fact, it was so memorable, the word that I already put out as the invented word of the day. I can't even remember what it was now. That's okay. It's not important. I think if it makes any sense to you, but I think one of the important things about podcasting in general is that it basically should not be important. What we say is almost gibberish anyway. It's more the act of speaking to friends, even if you can't hear their immediate replies. I'm coming up quite quickly today on the saddle. I have had no stops to chat just yet. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Is it warmer on the other side?
Oh yeah.
Good.
It's windy up on the top when you get down. It's
All right. Well, I'm going to go through the saddle and then down.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we just came up that way.
Yep. I'm going to do it in reverse now. I spoke too soon. They had a little border collie with them. Kind of reminded me of the picture I saw once of Dash, the wonder dog. Not Buddy, I know Buddy. I hope he's okay. It's funny how we can also relate to each other's pets. I know Jim has a big dog or two, plus a whole farmyard of exotic animals. Norman, I think, doesn't have any pets. I kind of think that he once had a pet. Maybe in his school or college days he had a pet cat. Alright, so as for Kevin, I don't know if he has pets. He has lots of small children in his life, and some getting bigger by the minute. His son is going to be bigger than me pretty soon. I'm the kind of guy that likes kids until they get big enough to beat them at chess, and when their feet start to smell, that's when I lose interest in kids. Nurturing. I like them when they're totally dependent. It gives you such a feeling of, I guess it is both a responsibility and importance. It's something that grandparents, I'm sure, enjoy so much about families. They're not just the old man, they are the grandfather. Yep, I just tweaked the other leg, my good leg. Now I have one of the nicest sections of trail known to man. It starts off quite gnarly with rocks and little bits of switchbacks and deking around big trees, and it goes past the cave. It's a little bit too steep to run this section because I have my road shoes on. This is where I saw on Sunday the father and son who had just been exploring in the cave. They told me it was almost big enough to stand up in there. The entrance is the smallest part. And the little kid said that there were some empty bottles at the end. I can think of much nicer places to drink than inside a damp cavern. Okay, so this is lift your feet area. Lots of ankle-deep clumps of dry maple leaf. Obviously the Douglas fir tree is an evergreen. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. Fir trees are like Christmas trees, pine trees. The only pine trees that shed are the ones that get brought indoors for Christmas. I remember when we used to have live Christmas trees, or cut from live, and we used to have them tall enough to touch the ceiling in our flat in London.
Time, 41, 10, distance, 5, workout average pace, 8, 14.
Yes, there you go. Now I have a little bit of catch-up hockey to play as I run towards Fairways Market, and my need for coffee, 18% cream and beer caps. and triple A batteries. It's quite noticeable for me anyway that now that I'm using triple A's for everything, I get through them pretty quickly. I think I also lent 4 brand new triple A's to Derek when he first got his light for his bicycle. Hang on a second, I feel a loose lace. I'm just going to put the recorder down while I tie my lace. It still seems to be recording, which is good. Auto pause. As I said, it's not on auto pause. My recorder is capturing real time.
Workout resumed.
So that's what's nice about these shorter runs. You can do a whole show from beginning to end without having to pause to edit. Still haven't decided on the music today, but I think I will put this one out raw without music because it has been exceptionally quiet today, and I have been quite loquacious. Now that is a word that has been used on me by many people. I was listening to Fresh Air this morning. Terry Gross interviewed the guy who produced and directed the All in the Family show with Archie Bunker, and yep, that show was so politically incorrect that it's a historic artifact already. All the things that Archie would say as a bigot, as a racist, as a sexist, he was almost the only guy saying that. And in that show, he never, ever dropped, hello, the F-bomb. Never. He might have said a million outrageous things, but he never dropped the F-bomb. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Well, I think he went on to produce The Jeffersons and Maude. That was another one of his shows. Somebody will have to remind me of his name. I guess I could stop and look at my phone and look at the Fresh Air episode, but you realize it's not really that important. It's just something that occurred to me that was making me laugh this morning. Our society has developed considerably in the last 30 years. So I'm just about coming out of Glendenning. It's the exit that I use when I head to the stores. I have to think as if I was running to University Heights. When I get to the top of Bow Park Hill, I turn to the right and head towards University Heights. Now, if I started recording this episode at the 7-minute mark. I have to take 7 minutes off whatever she tells me my time is, and that will be the length of my recording so far, plus 1 or 2 stops to tie my laces, or 1 anyway. Hello. So this is Glendenning, and I'm running on the bridle trail. There's a Subaru. I must admit, I like the sound of that car.
Time, 47, 43.
Okay,
6. Workout average pace, 7, 57.
so I've got all the information I need now. I've been running for 47 minutes. I've been recording for 40 minutes. So I have from here to Bow Park to record some more for you. This is not bonus material. This is just because I didn't start from home. I started from 1 kilometer in. Yep. So Freedom Run 11 was Sunday. On Monday I had a silent Freedom Run. It doesn't count. Hello. It only counts as a Freedom Run with a number if I record. And that way you guys can decide if you've heard it before. There goes the Subaru. T-Girl Kate used to drive one of those. She was a real speed demon. She's one of these women that would know how to initiate a power slide in a 4-wheel drive Subaru in the snow, and she would not have even the slightest confusion about what heel and toe driving is all about. But for those less familiar with rally cars, there's a lot of times when the driver is braking with his heel while accelerating in neutral while he goes into a higher gear. So he's using all 3 pedals and his gear stick at once, all in the space of, I guess, 1/10 of a second. Those drivers of rally cars are probably the finest drivers around. I saw footage of a rally where the driver was deliberately putting his inside wheel off the edge of the pavement to get more traction on the corner, and the edge of the pavement was the edge of the cliff, basically. He was running the rim of the road as if putting his rally car on rails. Now that, I would say, was stunt driving at its best. Hi. So I'm now on Moulton Road, heading towards Bow Park. And as I say, when I split from Bow Park towards Arrow Road, I will press stop on the recorder and continue my run to the store. So yesterday I heard Peter of Spike's podcast talking to us in his very precise and thoughtful way. I'm half expecting to hear from Nigel one of these days. For him, down by the canal, I hope he's still running. Yep, I think I can honestly say that running at this pace, I can no longer consider myself an injured runner. I have been in the glory zone since the first kilometer, basically. And when I stop this recording in about 3 minutes time, I would have stayed in that zone the whole way, which is very, very pleasing to me.
Time, 54. 3. Distance, 7. Workout average pace, 7:43.
Yes, there you go. That will probably be the last thing you hear from me today as I start to climb the Bow Park ramp. So bye-bye. Catch up with you again on Friday, maybe, when I run with Sandy in the dark.